Hello again, and welcome to day 3 of week 17 of year 3 of the Religious Education Initiative. Uh, Last week, we saw the Lord heal a leper and call Matthew, the evangelist who was writing this gospel, to follow him, although he had been a tax collector before. Matthew then hosted a dinner for the Lord and his disciples, and then the Pharisees came in and criticized Jesus for spending time with sinful people, at which point he told them that it was precisely the sinful people who needed to be saved, and therefore he had come to them. It seems that this passage we read today continues at the same dinner, with the disciples of John coming to the Lord there as well. So this begins in chapter 9, verse 14. Then the disciples of John came to him, saying, "Why do we and the Pharisees fast often, but your disciples do not fast?" And Jesus said to them, "The wedding guests cannot mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them, can they? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast. No one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old cloak, for the patch pulls away from the cloak, and a worse tear is made. Neither is new wine put into old wineskins, otherwise the skins burst, and the wine is spilled, and the skins are destroyed. But new wine is put into fresh wineskins, and so both are preserved." So, this is a briefer reading today, since it's a holiday week, God willing. But first of all, the plain and clear, obvious reading. The Lord is basically saying to the disciples of John, who have been waiting for the coming of Messiah because John told them to do so. John was preparing the way. Jesus is telling the disciples of John that it was right for you to fast before because you were waiting, but now what you were waiting for has come, and it is not time to fast any longer. This is why he's saying, the disciples, my disciples, they are present here with me. They have received what they were waiting for. It makes no sense for them to fast because I am with them. And he says, but the time will come when I am taken away, when I am not with them any longer, and then they will fast, which is spoken perhaps for our sakes, because the church, from the very, very early days of its existence, has continued to maintain the disciplines of fasting. This, in fact, the discipline of fasting as we practice it goes back to the apostolic age. And I think Matthew is purposely, pointing this out, saying, yes, the disciples didn't fast. We didn't fast when the Lord was with us, but then we immediately began to fast and continued. So nobody dismiss the fast or neglect them because these are important. But more than this, it's good for us to reflect on why it is that we have these periods, such as we are in now, in the week between Christmas and New Year's, why it is that we have weeks in which we do not fast at all. And it is precisely because in these great celebrations of the Lord's presence with us, in the week after Christmas, and actually the 11 days between Christmas and the Eve of Theophany, we are rejoicing in the presence of the Lord with us, and therefore we do not fast. In the week after Pascha, after Easter, we are rejoicing in the Lord's resurrection, returning to us from the tomb, bearing new life to us, and therefore we do not fast, because the bridegroom is with us. In the week after Pentecost, although the Lord has ascended into heaven, he has sent the Comforter, he has sent us the Holy Spirit, and we are filled with the presence of God in our midst, and therefore we do not fast. And then, the other weeks, after this period of rejoicing, of celebration, of reflecting on God's presence with us, we confess as well that we continue to live our lives in the world, bearing the presence of God with us. Nonetheless, we are constrained. We are left still to live our lives, to do the work that we have to do, and to wait for the fulfillment, for the perfect presence of the Lord to return to us, for the world to be healed, and for the glorious day of the resurrection. Therefore, normally, we do fast. But we don't fast in the old way. We don't fast like the Pharisees did, or like the disciples of John the Baptist, waiting for the Messiah to come to us for the first time. We have seen the true light. We have found the true faith. We have received Christ, born in the cave, risen from the dead. And therefore, we fast in a different way and for different reasons. Because God is with us, we fast so that we are not absent always from Him. So, that's enough for today. God bless you all. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we will see you again next week.